Biomolecules, and this is for Mission MBBS 2024. Hope all of you are ready. And last session में जो experiment किया था, do you all remember it? Can I get it in the chats? Deepan, hi. Vishal, Ria, Adin, welcome back. NEET aspirant, Sharad. Okay, Mahi. I'm good. Adin, how are you? Prashasti, let everyone join back. I'll wait for some time so that everyone can join back. And I hope you are all trying to be ready for your examination. Who's this? Charan, Ritesh, a lot of new names. Jyoti, welcome back. I'm good, Jyoti. How are you? सबके साथ शेयर कर दो लिंक, है ना? सबके साथ लिंक शेयर कर दो so that everyone can join this session. Everyone can be benefited. That's our target. That's our motto. That's our objective. Good evening, everyone. Jagriti, Chandran, yes, Ritesh, Ria. Wow, great. So सब दोस्तों को बुला लिया, right? And once more, let me remind you, there's a NEET mock test which is going on, right? The dates, mark the dates. 3rd, आज भी experiments. देखते हैं, कोशिश करते हैं. प्रशस्ति, right? Kusum, hi. Well, let me quickly introduce you to the rockstar teachers. Yes, I will be there handling zoology. Dr. Sachin Kapoor, your favorite teacher, is also be there for this particular session, right? This particular series. He's also coming live for other series, right? Don't miss that. Dr. Banguri, she's going to handle the botany part. Vivek sir for chemistry and Anushri ma'am for physics. So all these teachers are going to help you out. Let me introduce you once again to the NEET mock test, which is going to be happening next week and the following week, 3rd and 10th of July. Fine. I hope all of you have registered yourself for this test. Try karo sab log so that everyone can get the benefit. And this is, please mark, this is absolutely free, right? There's no charge involved, free of cost. Give the examination, predict your rank. You know, you'll get a predictable rank. Mr. Roy, you have watched the previous lecture? Perfect. Tanmay, wow, good evening. Khushi, Lakshmi, Abhishek, great. Chalo. So, quickly download the app, get it free for 14 days. See how we are teaching the students, right? How we are different than others in doing the learning process, right? How we want you to learn. How learning can be made easy. This is something that we want to do, that we have been doing so far. Great. Quickly subscribe the session, subscribe the channel, like the session, and share this link across so that every student that you know can be benefited by this session. Okay, so I would want to start with the session, but before this, do you remember we had done some experiments last week, last class? In fact, Wednesday we did some experiments, right? So we'll talk about the things that you're seeing in the screen. पहले मैं तुमको observation दिखा दूँ. Remember, Isha, hi. Tanmay, well, last session I told you that I'm going to show you if the experiment worked. In fact, that day it definitely worked. I got the result after near about half an hour. But आज फिर से, before doing the experiment, we have done the experiment. I have seen if the result works and I have the result in front of you. First of all, let me help you recall क्या किया था हमने. Simple starch iodine test किया था and we had got the result. It was blue black in color. Then what we tried to think or predict, कि अगर if we spit into it, what do we have? Can you tell me on the chats? What do we have in our spit which will give this color? Do you see it? Do you see it? यहाँ पे देखना, it has become colorless. And do you see the precipitation here? Right? यहाँ पे black precipitate हो गया है, बाकी सब यहाँ पे colorless बन गया है. This took about an hour to happen. एक घंटे में ये result आ गया. So what has happened? The blue black color disappeared. Why? Why do you think? Tell me on the chats. Let me see on the chats who can tell me why this happened. Digest starch. How and why? Who digested the starch? Come on, tell me. Mr. Roy, tell me, Lakshmi, who digested the starch over here? Can anyone tell me? यहाँ पे जो starch digestion हुआ है, correct? Saliva. Why? Talon. Okay. Can you give me the enzyme? The other name of the enzyme? The common name? Common name, Karthik. Hi. Common name of the enzyme? Salivary amylase. So can you tell me the reaction catalyzed by salivary amylase because of which this has happened? Can you tell me? Batao. Interesting. Very good to see all of you active on chats. Like the session, okay? Tell me why this has happened. Vaishnavi. Tell me. Salivary action amylase on it. ठीक है. But what is the reaction which has happened? क्या हुआ? Starch था. We had starch, but now something has happened because of which the color disappeared. Why did the blue back color disappear? Starch to maltose. Very, very good. Suraj. Deepman. Talon, salivary amylase. Fine. Deepman, I'm talking about the reaction, right? See, Suraj has pointed it out. Starch to maltose. The reaction. Got it? Perfect. Chalo. Aaj bhi I am ready with some experiments. I'll try to do it if the time permits. But today, what we are going to study is about lipids, another biomolecule, very important for us. See here, after seeing what's there on the screen, do you want to have it? In fact, I would want to have it because I think most of us are fan of these type of food items, specifically the fried, unhealthy food items, right? It's not healthy at all, but yes, definitely somehow our taste buds want it. Chahiye, aise, right? So yes, I do definitely like all these that you are seeing on the screen, but just observe one thing. These type of fried food items are always, served over a certain piece of paper, right? Either there's a tissue paper or some thin paper you'll see, and what you see after some time, or rather in some time, is something like this. What is this? What is this change that is happening? What is this change? Tell me. What do you think the change has happened? ऐसे कैसे हो गया? You've covered it. Now, this change has happened. Tell me. Sahil, correct. ये change कैसे हुआ? On the chats, come on. Absorbed oils. Shwida, very good. Absorbed oils. Oxidation ठीक है, but यहाँ पे सिर्फ कुछ नहीं. Oil absorption हुआ है, right? By the paper. जिसके वजह से you will see the paper turns translucent. The paper turns translucent. Okay, got it? Paper translucent जैसे बन जाते हैं, एकदम thin. In fact, newspaper में अगर कुछ fried items ऐसे पैक करके या रैप करके दिया जाता है, you'll see it becomes translucent. Got it? This is just because of the presence of fats, or rather you can say oils. Got it? Now, another simple observation. When we add a drop of oil on water, what happens? You see this bubble type of certain bubble type of formation, but even if you shake it, it will not dissolve because oil is insoluble in water, right? So what we are actually going to study about is nothing but lipids. What we are going to study about is nothing but lipids. Everyone knows about it. It's very, very, very important. Do you recall about the biomolecules that we have studied? We have studied about the biomicromolecule, biomacromolecule. See about the molecular size, 18 to 800 Daltons. If I talk about macromolecules greater than 1000 Daltons, okay, greater than 1000 Daltons, that is macromolecules. Itna note karo, I'll tell you why. Lipids weigh less than 800 Daltons, but still they are present in acid insoluble pool. Acid insoluble pool में ये मिलेगा, है ना? Why are acids actually found in the acid insoluble pool? Let's see. Why are lipids found in insoluble pool? Lipids, when disintegrated, forms these vesicles. ऐसे एक enclosed structure बनता है. Got it? This is very important. It forms a Vesicles, these are enclosed form of structure. We'll understand why this happens. Vesicles are insoluble in acids. These are not soluble in acids. Joins the acid insoluble fraction or the macromolecule fraction. Simple है. This is a certain observation. So if I try to understand, ये देखो पहले ये picture देख लो. Don't have to draw it, but just see how it looks like. एक enclosure जैसे बन जाता है. See, like-sided structures are towards one side. और ये वाले जो structures है, what are these? We will study about it. Polar, non-polar ये सब चीजें हैं, but we'll study about it. Just see कि एक type एक side में है, कुछ बाहर के तरफ, कुछ अंदर के तरफ. Some towards the outside, some towards the inside. ये एक enclosure, enclosed type of structure बनाते हैं. Right? Vesicles. So what are lipids? If I try to define, what are lipids? Yeah, I told you, Rani, I just expressed what are vesicles, right? Enclosed structure. Organic compounds. These are nothing but organic compounds consisting of the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Molecular weight, please note, less than 800 daltons. बहुत सारा है. मेरे पास भी आज है कुछ samples. It's nothing but simple oils, butter, ghee that you use at your home. Insoluble in water, very important property, not polymeric. Not polymeric. कुछ questions में ये पूछा जाता है. Fine. Now, what we'll do, classification of lipids is something that is very important. We need to study about that. ठीक है? अच्छा, they're not polymeric, मतलब क्या है? They're not made up of repeating monomeric units. Not polymeric. इसका मतलब है. Now, classification of lipids. Lipids can be classified into simple, compound and derived. Simple, compound, derived. Molecular weight NEET में शायद ना पूछा जाए, but what you have to know is कि molecular weight के basis में micro macro हो रहा है. So that is a reference point for you, which will be required for you to analyze the rest of the biomolecules. So it's important, may not be asked in NEET. That's okay, but that's important. I'm telling you. पहले पढ़ते हैं simple. Let's study simple lipids first. Okay, all of you, let's study simple lipids first. Now, they are esters of fatty acids with alcohol. Esters, very, very important. ये आपको जानना चाहिए. They are esters of fatty acids with alcohol. In most lipids, the alcohol is glycerol, most basic form. Classified based on the type of alcohol they contain. इस तरीके से classification है, देखते हैं. See here. Alcohol with 3 carbons, 5 hydrogen and 3 hydroxyl groups. Fine. Also called trihydroxypropane. Propane का structure अगर याद है आपको, है ना? In chemistry we have seen. Yes sir, it is easy. Okay, very good. So also called trihydroxy क्योंकि 3 OH. Trihydroxy, correct? Propane. See the structure here, glycerol. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Trihydroxy. Propane, 3 carbon है ना? So 3 hydroxyl groups. These are colorless, viscous and sweet. Got it? Now, fatty acids, carboxylic acids with an R group attached. तो पहले हमने क्या पढ़ा है? We studied about glycerol because सिर्फ glycerol से lipids नहीं बनता है. Glycerol and fatty acids. So you have understood about glycerol. Now fatty acids देखते हैं. Carboxylic acid with an R group attached. R group can be methyl, ethyl, 1 to 19, you know, CH2 groups. ये हो सकते हैं आपके R groups. Got it? See, carboxyl group COOH. You know about the structure. ये देखो, carboxyl group. Fine. This is the acid part, and R group is the hydrocarbon chain. R group is the hydrocarbon chain. So, fatty acid structure, देख लिया. Please note this down. Okay, please note this down. Well, got it, all of you noted, because this is very important. This structure, glycerol and fatty acid structure, important because that comprises of the lipids, so you should know about it. Hello sir, late हो गया. Okay, no problem, late हो गया, but अभी से सुनना शुरू करो, बिकॉज ये थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होता है कुछ बच्चों के लिए, है ना. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, अब glycerol and fatty acids we understood the structure. Now what you have to understand, how are they attached, what type of bonds. कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स के लिए जब ज्वाइन होता था, what type of bonds we have studied, what type of bonds are there to join monomeric units of carbohydrates. Tell me, what type of bond, some dash bond that we have studied. Esters is, I'll talk about it. Esterification reaction के बारे में बताऊंगा. Wait, I'll show you. In fact, upcoming slide में है मेरा. Come on, tell me, Bhavesh, good evening. Kalpesh, glycosidic bond. Kushi, yes. Mahi, let's make the chat active. थोड़ा सा आज activity कम दिख रहा है. What happened? Any problems? आज Monday है, right? You should be energetic. Come on. संतोष, कहाँ गए सब? Glycosidic, Tanmay, Bhavesh. Today is your first class. Welcome, Bhavesh. How are you? Rakesh, condensation and hydrolysis, feeling sleepy. Santosh, feeling sleepy. 7 बजे है, ऐसे कैसे? वंश, रिया, glycosidic, खुशबू, hello. Got it. Glycosidic bond. ठीक है. अब यहां पे देखते हैं. All of you who wants to know about the esterification reaction, ध्यान से देखो, है ना. Esters क्या है? Someone was asking about esters. Who was asking? Let me see. Esters. Kalpesh, esters. Doubt था? I'll explain right here. एक होना चाहिए कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड प्लस अल्कोहल. केमिस्ट्री में आपने पढ़ा होगा या तो पढ़ने वाले हो. सर हमारा लिविंग वर्ल्ड कंप्लीट हुआ है, उस पे एग्जाम. हाँ, तो एक काम करेंगे ना. सो व्हाट वी विल ट्राई टू डू, थोड़ा सा चैप्टर्स कुछ पढ़ लेते हैं, उसके साथ साथ हम मॉक करेंगे, है ना. थोड़ा सा पढ़ लेते हैं. एक चैप्टर लिविंग वर्ल्ड बहुत आसान चैप्टर है, आपको भी पता है, राइट. थोड़ा सा पढ़ लेते हैं, उसके बाद कुछ चैप्टर्स मिलेंगे, तब ना एग्जाम जैसे फील आएगा, राइट. नाउ कॉन्सेंट्रेट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आई डोंट वांट यू टू फॉरगेट दिस. कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड, एक एसिड प्लस अल्कोहल, अगर ये रिएक्ट करता है तो क्या होगा. देखो यहां पे ये बॉन्ड ब्रेक होगा, तो कलर यहां पे ये बॉन्ड ब्रेकेज हो रहा है, यहां पे ब्रेक होगा. तो इससे क्या होगा, ये जो OR1 है, ये ग्रुप जो है वो कार्बोक्सिलिक यहां पे अटैच हो जाता है. गॉट इट. सो दिस इज द एस्टर. सो C double bond OR and this is attached to another R group plus release of water. This is ester, right? Sanchit, you're late. Okay, no problem. यहां से देख लो. Formed when carboxylic acid condenses with alcohol, right? This is called the esterification reaction. जो बनता है वो ester plus water. Reaction किसके साथ हो रहा है? Acid plus alcohol. Please note this down. It's a condensation reaction. Can you see? है ना? See it. Water molecules are eliminated. Please, this is a very important point. Note it down. Fine. Ester का structure कैसा है? Got it, all of you? ठीक है. Ester, yester. संतोष, yester bound क्या होता है? अच्छा, याद करो, हमने पढ़ा था फॉस्फोडाइएस्टर बॉन्ड. याद करो तो, वी हैव स्टडीड व्हेन वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट द डीएनए स्ट्रक्चर. फॉस्फोडाइएस्टर बॉन्ड, 2 एस्टर बॉन्ड होता है ना. ठीक है, याद करो. यू विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट. इनफैक्ट यहां पे ही है. जस्ट सी इट. कैन यू सी दैट यहां पे एक कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड और अल्कोहल जो अटैच हो रहा है, राइट. सो वो जिस बॉन्ड के थ्रू अटैच हो रहा है, दैट इज द एस्टर बॉन्ड. गॉट इट. एस्टर बॉन्ड सेम चीज होता है व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स जॉइनिंग. ठीक है. वेल, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. नाउ द एस्टर्स फाउंड फ्रॉम ग्लिसरॉल एंड फैटी एसिड्स आर कॉल्ड, लेट्स सी, ग्लिसराइड्स. मोनोग्लिसराइड्स, डाइग्लिसराइड्स, ट्राइग्लिसराइड्स. सिंपल. किस बेसिस पे डिफरेंशिएट करोगे? formed by the condensation of one fatty acid with glycerol. Di मतलब two fatty acids with glycerol. Tri मतलब three fatty acids with glycerol. So glycerol basic structure है, उसके ऊपर number of fatty acids which are getting added. Structure देखो, come on बेटा, structure देख लो. So this is how the glycerides look like. Mono, di, tri. Fine. अच्छा चलो, I'll show you how triglycerides are formed. Again ester bond दिखा रहा हूं. Can you see? अच्छा देख लो, ग्लिसरॉल का बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर है. ये हो गया मेरा ग्लिसरॉल का बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर. यहां पे मैं फैटी एसिड्स दिखा रहा हूं, 1 2 3. ट्राइग्लिसराइड बता रहा हूं, राइट, 3 फैटी एसिड्स. रिमेंबर, इसको आसपास मैंने लिखा है. तो यहां पे ये क्या रिएक्शन हो रहा है? कंडेंसेशन रिएक्शन. तो 3 मॉलिक्यूल है, 1 2 3. 3 वाटर मॉलिक्यूल निकलेगा. यस सर, इट इज रिलीजिंग, फॉलोड बाय द एस्टर बॉन्ड. देख लो, हो गया एस्टर बॉन्ड. 1 2 3. So becomes triglyceride. All of you got it? Clear about ester bond, esterification reaction. Triglyceride कैसे होता है? Okay? Fine? Okay. चलो एक छोटा सा टेस्ट करते हैं. Let's test for the presence of lipids or other, I would say, triglycerides. इस टेस्ट को बोलते हैं Sudan Test. Objective क्या है हमारा? We want to test for the presence of lipids or triglycerides. All of you ready for the experiment? थोड़ा experiment करते हैं फिर से. All of you ready? Are you there active or या तो सो गए हो? Come on, tell me. Are you all ready? Can we do the experiment a bit? Yes. Okay, great. चलो. Test is Sudan test. क्या करेंगे? अच्छा, so I have this. That was the starch amylase वाला test. So I'll show you what we are going to do. हम लोग ये करेंगे. Simple सा test है. Equal amounts of sample चाहिए and water चाहिए to do the test. First, let me put a bit of water. Is this clear? See it? I'll try to put equal amounts of water. Equal amounts of water and oil. So oil, of course, we have studied that it is insoluble in water, right? It's insoluble in water. बस ये गिर ना जाए यहाँ पे. बहुत सारा oil है यहाँ पे actually. Let's see. Do you think it will be soluble or it's insoluble? It's slipping a bit. Come on. Let's try it out. So हटाते हैं. Try to put equal amounts of oil also. I hope you can see it. I'll show it to you. Okay? ध्यान से थोड़ा डाल देता हूँ यहाँ पे. Wow. थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा हो गया. But the good thing to observe is, can you see? It's absolutely distinct. दो separate layer दिख रहा है. I'll show you. It's safe. Okay, come on. See this. Very interesting. Do you see? Totally distinct layer. ये पानी का लेयर है. इनफैक्ट मेनिस्कस भी दिख रहा है. एंड ये ऑयल का है. टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, यू नो, इफ आई जस्ट डोंट शेक इट, यहाँ पे एक्चुअली इतना अच्छे तरीके से मेनिस्कस दिख रहा है. इट्स लाइक, यू नो, इट्स हैंगिंग. वाओ. दिस इज ऑयल, क्लियर, एंड दिस इज वाटर. ऑल ऑफ यू, कैन यू सी इट? दिख रहा है ना? परफेक्ट. अब करेंगे Sudan 3 reagent say test. Where is the reagent? Yes, let me read it out. This is Sudan 3 solution, and I'm supposed to put 3 to 4 drops of the solution. यहाँ पे दिख रहा है. This is the one that you should see. I'll put it in front. Ignore the other 2 test tubes. Yes, right. I'll just put few drops of Sudan 3 solution. Let's see. Careful. Is it clean? Yeah. 1 2 3 4. Let's see if it starts reacting or not. Ideally, what should happen is it should react. Now, दिख रहा है? Two colors. In fact, और एक मेरिस्कस बन गया है. Right? You know, पता है ये viscosity की वजह से, liquids के density की वजह से. Now, what I'm doing, I'll try to shake it a bit rapidly so that थोड़ा सा mixing दिख जाए. Now, bubble, एकदम thick bubble formation हो रहा है. What should happen? We'll see क्या होता है. Okay, it's mixing. It takes some time. Yes. बहुत ही एक different सा layer बन गया है honestly. But trust me, there is no change which is there in the water part of it. कुछ भी change नहीं है. It's absolutely same, right? Okay. Mixing is proper, I think. I'll try to keep it and see if the observation comes up. I'll keep it here itself, right? And I'll keep seeing if the color starts changing or not. Ideally, let's see what should happen. So if you do this and then add 3 to 4 drops of Sudan 3 reagent and shake the test tube, what is going to happen is ideally the oil layer would turn something around red. Okay. अब यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Let's try to understand a bit. When Sudan 3 is added, the upper fat containing layer turns orangish red. It's already showing a bit of that color, okay? Because that yellowish color has almost disappeared. It is coming up almost as very light orange. It has come up. I'll see if more change happens in the color, indicating the presence of fats. Now, Sudan stain is red in color, as you have seen. It's a red color dye. It's insoluble in water. I'm explaining, people who are asking about क्या होता है? Insoluble in water. It's insoluble in water. But this is soluble in fats. I can see it. I can absolutely see it. It is soluble in fats. Fine. But देखो नीचे नहीं आया. So that's the reason I'm telling it's insoluble in water, but soluble in fats. Okay, all of you noted? Try to change the color for a better view. Noted 2 points. Now this is non-polar, so it will have high affinity with the non-polar part of the fats. Fats के polar non-polar parts होंगे जिसके वजह से mycelium formation होता है. Remember? Right? We have studied. In fact, we will study more about this when we are going to study digestion of fats, emulsification of fats. वहां पे हम पढ़ेंगे कि bile salts का काम क्या आता है. Right? बिना bile हम fats digest नहीं कर सकते. और fats as a normal बाकी biomolecules जैसे it cannot be absorbed. Mycelium formation होना जरूरी है. It's like this. It will form something like this. Very random low quality structure I have drawn, but yes, something around this happens, right? Now with non-polar groups of the fats, what will happen? It will stick to it. Now this will help in making easy for it to take up the stain. इसका मतलब क्या हो रहा है? यहाँ पे Sudan reagent forms hydrophobic interactions with the hydrocarbon chain of the lipids. Lipids के जो hydrocarbon chain है, इनके साथ hydrophobic interactions होते हैं, right? जिसके वजह से it gets stuck and ये reaction possible होता है ना? हाँ, I give this answer, right? Sudan का composition अगर चाहते हो तो यहाँ से you can check it, right? But yes, the basic idea is about polar, non-polar and the interaction. क्योंकि if you talk about the lipids also, यहाँ पे the same thing is there. The interactions will happen. Polar, polar, non-polar, non-polar. Got it? Let's see. Try. Let's see. I'll put a bit more of this reagent if the color comes up. हो सकता है a bit of extra. But I hope you can see this is quite light red in color, not exactly very red, but definitely light red in color. Yes, see the change. यहाँ पे दिख रहा है ये change हो रहा है. I will say one thing. I think based on my observation, यहाँ पे इस जो oil लिए है ना हमने, I think there's some problem with it because यहाँ पे bubble formation हो रहा है. Ideally this should not form bubble. Ideally इस तरीके से bubble, in fact bubble नहीं होना चाहिए. Why? Because this should be soluble here. It's not soluble in water, but it's soluble in oil. Let's see what happens. Got it? You can try this at home. This is not a very difficult reaction to perform at home. It's safe also. You can do it. Got it? Now, classification of simple lipids based on the alcohol present. Simple lipids can be fats and oils and also waxes. Let's see fats and oil first. Just put it aside so that everything is perfect. Chalo. Simple lipids, fats and oils. Esters of fatty acids with glycerol. Major fats and oils are triglycerides. ये majorly हम use करते हैं, जैसे घी, mustard oil, right? Have you noticed he solidifies during winter? कुछ fats solidify हो जाते हैं room temperature में, कुछ fats solidify नहीं होते. What is the reason? Can I get it on the chats? कि कुछ solidify होते हैं, कुछ solidify नहीं होते. What is the reason behind it? What is the reason? Hi Amit. Hi Shushmita. Hey Shushmita, where were you? I didn't find you from the starting of the class. Amit, hi. Can you tell me? क्यों solidify of fatty acid? Because of the heat. हीट की वजह से solidify कैसे होगा? हीट की वजह से तो मेल्ट हो जाता है ना? Okay, I'll teach about it. I'll talk about it. Wait. Winters में ये solidify होता है और गर्मी में ये liquid जैसे रहते हैं. Let's see. Now have you noticed cooking oils like mustard oil, different oils like cooking oils, they do not solidify during winters. In fact, ये जो oil है, I had mustard oil also. It will not solidify during winters. Ghee will. To understand this, we need to learn about one type of classification of fatty acids, and that's simply saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. Let's see. First, let's study about the saturated fatty acids. What does this mean? These are the fatty acids which have single bond between the carbon atoms. Double bond, triple bond are not present. And they are mostly solid at room temperature. Example, butter, ghee. Saturated, नाम कहाँ से आ रहा है पता है? Because they have single bonds, they are saturated with the presence of hydrogen. Saturated with the presence of hydrogen, है ना? So they are very condensed molecules, बहुत dense है. Hence, generally will find as solids. Fine? ये देखो, saturated fatty acids examples, palmitic acid 16 कार्बन है, स्टेरिक एसिड 18 कार्बन है. देखो ये दोनों बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एनसीईआरटी में लिखा रहता है, तो पूछा जा सकता है, राइट? Yes, I've given the reason. Unsaturated fatty acids की बात करें तो they have double bonds between the carbon atoms. So double bonds है, lower melting points, mostly liquid at room temperature जैसे sunflower oil. So ये ज़्यादा crowded नहीं है. Hence, the state is liquid at room temperature. Fine, got it? Example देख लो. Arachidonic acid, fatty acids with 20 carbon atoms. अब इस पे सवाल पूछा जा सकता है, काफी बार आया हुआ है इसके बारे में. So please note it down. Please note it down. You should know the difference between saturated, unsaturated fatty acids, fats, lipids rather, and why so? Why liquid? Why solid? Some examples, please note it down. These are the this is oleic acid is the monounsaturated fatty acid. Double bonds, 1. Linoleic acid, there are 2 double bonds. PUFA, that is polyunsaturated fatty acids, because polyunsaturation is there. More than 1 double bond. So यहाँ पे 2 है. Linoleic acid 3 है. Arachidonic acid में 4 है. So these are about the number of double bonds present. Again, very, very, very important. Questions पूछा जा सकता है. ठीक है? क्या कौन सा क्वेश्चन ज्योति? About unsaturation, saturation? Yes, Jyoti, what are you asking? No thund. अगर अच्छा, if you're not understood about it, I'll tell you once again. Saturated मतलब भर भर के मॉलिक्यूल्स है, क्राउडेड है. कैसे हो सकता है भर भर के मॉलिक्यूल्स? अगर कार्बन के जो 4 बॉन्ड्स हो सकता है सारे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट है, मतलब 4 बॉन्ड्स हो सकते हैं. अगर सोचो डबल बॉन्ड हो जा रहा है तो एक कार्बन के साथ 2 बॉन्ड से जुड़ा हुआ है, राइट? 2 कार्बन एटम्स आर जॉइंड बाय 2 बॉन्ड्स. इनफैक्ट अगर वो नहीं होते तो 2 हाइड्रोजन तो हो सकता था, राइट? तो अनसैचुरेटेड मतलब वो लेस क्राउडेड है. क्राउडेड मतलब वो द टेंडेंसीज टू बी सॉलिड एट रूम टेम्परेचर, है ना? ये बेसिक डिफरेंस है. नाउ हैव यू वंडर्ड व्हाई ऑलिव ऑयल इज सो पॉपुलर? ये देखो रेडनिंग हो रहा है. डू यू सी इट? रेडनिंग इज कमिंग अप, रेडिश. थोड़ा सा बबलिंग है, बट यस इट इज टर्निंग रेड. गॉट इट? रेड नहीं, एक्चुअली ऑरेंजिश हो रहा है. शेक इट अ बिट मोर ऑरेंजिश. लेट इट वर्क, लेट इट रिएक्ट. इनफैक्ट अभी तो मुझे 3 लेयर दिख रहा है. ये थोड़ा सा येलोइश, ये एकदम व्हाइट बिकॉज ऑफ वाटर, एंड ये ऑरेंजिश, है ना? सो हैव यू वंडर्ड व्हाई ऑलिव ऑयल इज सो पॉपुलर? This high amount of unsaturated fatty acids. इसका composition देखो. Saturated fatty acids 2 grams. यहाँ पे a simple basic composition that we are showing. Monounsaturated fatty acid 2 grams. Monounsaturated fatty acid 10 grams यहाँ पे. Poly 2 grams. Mono 10 grams, right? इसमें omega 3 and omega 6 fats are present. ठीक है? Polyunsaturated fatty acids. Fats include omega 3 and omega 6 fats. These are essential fatty acids for our body. It needs for the functioning of the brain and cell growth. Correct? In fact, polyunsaturated fatty acids can help in lowering your bad cholesterol. Okay? कोलेस्ट्रॉल कम करने में हेल्प कर सकते हैं your polyunsaturated fatty acids. Cholesterol, you know, it's not good for your health, right? It's not good for your health. It can cause clogging of your vessels like the arteries. And in fact, massive amount can cause death. So cholesterol अच्छा नहीं है. Unsaturated fatty acids, polyunsaturated fatty acids is good. Olive oil is hence very important. Come on. Let's study about waxes now. Simple lipids के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. Esters of long chain fatty acid and long chain alcohol. Long chain की बात कर रहे हैं हम. Form water insoluble coating. Water insoluble coating बनाते हैं, of course wax. On hair and skin in animals मिलेगा. On stem, leaves and fruits in plants you will get. For example, bee wax, very common example. Ear wax is again one more common example. Same characteristic features. These are nothing but esters of long chain fatty acids and long chain alcohols. Compound fatty acids क्या है? Compound lipids rather. Compound lipids, see here, esters of fatty acids and alcohol along with additional groups. इसीलिए compound बोलते हैं, right? Compound. Additional groups include phosphorus, it can be proteins or sugars. Based on that, अच्छा, it is found in cell membrane. Cell chapter में पढ़ेंगे. In fact, I think Pankudi ma'am is going to teach about it, talk about it. So, compound lipids के देखो कुछ categories which we in fact have: phospholipids, glycolipids, sphingolipids. Phospholipids देखो, I'll talk about it. Phospholipids, fatty acids plus glycerol plus phosphate group. these are not good fats to be eaten, right? And मतलब क्यों? Why will you have it? Major components of cell membrane, है ना? Major components of cell membrane are phospholipids. माही क्या पूछ रहे हो? Atherosclerosis due to cholesterol, correct. अवेश सर, बोर्ड एंड नीट बोथ मतलब क्या क्वेश्चन है? संतोष, these are fatty acids, type of fatty acids, right? और ये bonds के बेसिस पे नाम दिया जाता है. Don't need to know more detail, but these are type of unsaturated fatty acids which are important for your, I told you, the brain, cell growth, etc. चलो देख लो किस तरीके से अरेंज्ड होते हैं. The polar groups, ये you have the phosphate part, the glycerol part, and the fatty acid. These are the non-polar tails. Non-polar tails. Polar are hydrophilic. Non-polar are hydrophobic. They don't want water. They want to stay away from water. है ना? So if you see the double layer cell membrane का, तो कैसे होते हैं? इस तरीके से arranged होते हैं. Hydrophobic part अंदर, hydrophilic बाहर. See, let's say there is a phospholipid that is present in the cell membrane. See, you don't need to know the structure, but see the basic phospholipid. Correct? Now, glycolipids देख लो. Glyco मतलब sugar. Glyco is related to sugar, so fatty acids plus glycerol plus यहाँ पे phosphate नहीं, phospholipids अलग में. जहाँ पे phosphate है, glyco means carbohydrate है, found on the cell membrane surface, of course, helps in cell recognition. These act as identifiers, cell recognition, cell markers rather. ठीक है? Now, did you know glycolipid, galactocerebroside? See here, the white matter of the brain is called so because of its whitish fatty appearance due to presence of myelin, and the main lipid found in myelin is what? The galactocerebroside. ठीक है? Got it? इसीलिए इसको white matter बोलते हैं, whitish वाला जो है. Correct? Vaibhav is asking it. बेटा एस्टर्स तो मैं पढ़ा चुका हूं, बट इतना बस जिस्ट में बता दे रहा हूं. एस्टर्स, इफ यू टॉक अबाउट एस्टरिफिकेशन रिएक्शन से एस्टर्स बनते हैं. एंड व्हाट इज दैट रिएक्शन? नथिंग, अल्कोहल, कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड प्लस अल्कोहल जो बनेगा वो है एक एस्टर. एस्टर बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन होता है, रिलीज क्या होता है? वाटर. गॉट इट? दीज आर फैटी एसिड. संतोष, नाउ लेट्स गो. स्फिंगोलिपिड्स, ये क्या है? Class of lipids which containing a backbone of sphingoid bases, a set of aliphatic amino acid alcohols that includes sphingosine. Right? Basic बस जान लो, इसके बारे में डिटेल जानने की अभी जरूरत नहीं है. Sir, we study about sugar. It is the same which we eat. बेटा different types of sugars होते हैं. कुछ sugars हम खाते हैं, कुछ sugars मिलता है कहीं, right? But yes, most of the sugars like fructose bolo, sucrose bolo, type of sugars are present in various food products. So yes, somehow or the other consume तो करते ही हम sugars. Correct? Now, simple हो गया, compound हो गया. Now derived lipids. See the derived lipids over here. Derived lipids which are derived from, again I'll show you, the color is changing a bit more. Orangish हो रहा है. Right? See here. But that means we have got the result. Lipids derived from simple or conjugated lipids, complex in nature like cholesterol. See here, a very complicated structure, right? These are the derived lipids. These are rather conjugated lipids. Now lipids के functions है बहुत सारे functions है. Please note it down. Please note it down. ठीक है? This lipids are high source of energy. In fact, they are very good source of long-term energy storage sources because they can store energy. Protection against heat loss, insulation. पता है हमारे स्किन के नीचे ना एक लिपिड का लेयर है, and that is required so that we can retain our body heat और बाहर से भी if it becomes too cold, we can actually retain our body heat. That's absolutely important for multiple enzymes to work, all our metabolism to work. So that's very important. Lipids are not always bad. Lipids are important. Too much of lipids is of course bad. Yes, protection against physical shock. These lipids act as a cushioning layer. Got it? Protection against water loss, definitely. Lipids, they are not soluble in water. So जहाँ पे भी layer बनाएगा तो water loss से protect कर सकते हैं. Correct? Specifically if you talk about plants, right? Where there is lack of water resources, वहाँ पे lipid layers will help in prevention of transpiration. Correct? Chemical messengers, yes, definitely. Helps in the formation of hormones and major component of the membranes. So once more, I'll repeat. Long-term energy sources, protection against heat loss, that is insulation, protection against physical shock, cushioning, protection against water loss, chemical messenger like formation of hormones, and major component of the membrane. Got it? Well, flip-flop movement, yes, ये बाद में पढ़ेंगे जब we'll talk about the actual structure, right, of the cell membrane. We'll talk about it. Flip-flop movement. Great. Who is telling this? Bhavna. So a quick summary to what we have studied today. I'll tell you what all things we have studied and you need to know it. Lipids एक important point है, important topic है, इसके बारे में सवाल पूछा जा सकता है. You have studied the classification of lipids, simple, compound and derived. Simple में we have studied about fats and oils, waxes also we have studied. In compound we have studied about phospholipids, sphingolipids and glycolipids, and we studied about derived lipids also. Look, we have studied about these fats and oils. Similarities like triglyceride, differences, solid at room temperature, fats, liquid at room temperature, mainly from animal sources are fats, mainly from plant sources is what we call oil. Relatively more saturated, yes, and relatively more unsaturated oils, right? So plant sourced oils are better than animal. Remember, high melting point, yes, ghee, low melting point, oil. Correct? Perfect. Now, I'll quickly ask some questions. And give me the answers. Come on, ready? On the chats. Questions karte hain. Previous year questions. Okay, let it change. Okay. A typical fat molecule is made up of NEET 2017 में पूछा गया है. 1 glycerol and 3 fatty acid molecule, 1 glycerol, 1 fatty acid molecule, 3 glycerol, 3 fatty acid molecule, 3 glycerol molecule and 1 fatty acid molecule. बहुत आसान सवाल है. Very easy question. Come on, tell me. Tell me. Sandeep, thank you for your comment, but please do not spam, right? There are students who are trying to study here. Please do not spam. Come on, give me the answer. Okay. Vaibhav C बता रहे हो क्या? Suman, please answer this question first. A, Bhavna A, ठीक है. Yes, A is the correct answer. Because देखो बेटा, वैभव, मैं बेसिक पूछ रहा हूँ. बेसिक देखो, और ये बहुत इजी आसान सवाल है. 1 glycerol 3 fatty acid molecule is the basic structure, right? देखो, we have studied this, we have seen this. चलो next question पढ़ते हैं. 2013 में ये सवाल पूछा गया था. A phosphoglyceride is always made up of a saturated or unsaturated fatty acids esterified to a glycerol molecule to which a phosphate is also attached. Saturated or unsaturated fatty acid esterified to a phosphate group which is also attached to a glycerol molecule. Only a saturated fatty acids esterified to a glycerol molecule to which phosphate group is attached. D option क्या बता रहा है? Only an unsaturated fatty acid esterified to a glycerol to which a phosphate group is also attached. ठीक है? बड़े बड़े ऑप्शन से थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग है. Quickly look into it. I'll wait for some time. What are the answers? You कि A, B, A, काफी लोग B बता रहे हो. ऋषिकेश B, वैभव A, भावना C, संदीप क्या बोल रहे हो? B. अच्छा. phosphoglyceride is always made up of? Come on, tell me. Kafi confusing answers hai. Well, I'll give you the correct answer. It's basically option A is the correct answer. A saturated or unsaturated fatty acid esterified to a glycerol molecule to which a phosphate is also attached. Phosphoglyceride पूछ रहा हूँ मैं. Next, ये देख लो. एक बार structure देख लो. No one is going to ask it, but yes, this is a basic structure. Next, let's move on to the बड़ा question है, ठीक है. Next, let's solve this question. Following are a few statements with reference to lipids. Choose the correct answer from the option below. 2021 का question है. Lipids having only one bond are called unsaturated fatty acids. देख लो. Lecithin is a phospholipid. Trihydroxypropane is glycerol. Palmitic acid has 20 carbon atoms including the carboxyl carbon, and arachidonic acid has 16 carbon atoms. I told you these are very very important. Lipids में basic easy questions पूछा जाता है जो कि NCERT में ही है और ये सारे points NCERT में दिया हुआ है. So very very important, please see. What you have to choose is the correct answer. Lipids having only one bond are called unsaturated fatty acids. One bond. ये क्या होता है? Lecithin is a phospholipid. Okay. What are the answers? मयंक, बायोमोलिक्यूल्स में थोड़ा सा दिक्कत तो होता है, सो इसको रिवाइज करना जरूरी है, ठीक है. डोंट वरी, विल फाइंड आउट वेज टू डू इट, है ना. बोलो. अतुल ए, माही ए, वैभव बी, संदीप डी, सुमन ए, भावना सी. अच्छा, डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस आर कमिंग अप. Trihydroxypropane is glycerol. Okay. Palmitic acid has 20. Chalo, I'll give you the answer. It's B and C only. Let's see. Lipids having one bond are called unsaturated fatty acids? No. Lipids that contain unsaturated fatty acid chains have one or more than one double or and triple bonds. ठीक है? These are unsaturated. अभी तो पढ़ा है. Yes, this is correct. It's a phospholipid. Again, this is correct. It's trihydroxypropane. I've pointed it out. Correct. Palmitic acid has 20 carbon atoms. No. Unsaturated fatty acid that is made up of 16. Reverse हो गया in fact. Arachidonic acid is in fact 20. So reverse कर दिया. Right. So these are very important points. Sir, next chapter, Sandeep. Yes, Sandeep. What we'll do? We'll complete this chapter. Then we'll move on to the next chapter. Let's see. Okay, which chapter we can take. Fine. So these are very important points. Lipid is, please trust me, this is a very important chapter and questions इससे पूछा ही जाता है. So what are the points that I've said in this particular session? एकदम नोट करके रखो, इसको रिवाइज करो फिर से. ठीक है? So that's it for today's session. Revise all the 3 classes that we have done. Make notes, revise those notes and questions solve karo. Fine. Till then, I'll say a goodbye and see you on Wednesday, 7 p.m. sharp, same channel. Subscribe this channel, share the link and like the session. Okay? Chalo, goodbye. I'll see you soon. Take care. Good night.